Until Death Do Us Part. Chapter 1. The Golden Hour. Emily stood at the panoramic window of her 32nd floor office, the city skyline unfurling beneath her like a sea of fire. The golden hour had painted the glass towers in hues of amber and rose. Her own reflection merged with the warm glow, sharp cheekbones, poised posture, a confident smile playing on her lips. She was 26, and the world lay at her feet. The office was modern, sleek, all glass and chrome, with the quiet hum of productivity murmuring in the background. Her assistant had just left with the final batch of PR proposals. Emily exhaled slowly. It had been a long day. Crisis management for a celebrity scandal, 2 board meetings, and 3 press calls, but none of it touched her joy now. Her phone vibrated. A message from Jake lit up the screen. "Jake, can't wait to see you. Dinner's ready. And I bought your favorite wine. Red Heart." Emily grinned. She typed back quickly. "Emily, be home soon. Save me a seat and a kiss. Hearts. Fire emojis." That was them, passionate, playful, perfect. They had met 9 months ago at a charity gala in a downtown gallery. He wore a navy suit and a smile that could convince the stars to descend. She had been drawn to him immediately, the way he leaned in when he spoke, the way his hand hovered politely but confidently at her back. Their first date lasted until 3 a.m. in a closed jazz bar. They talked about everything: art, ambition, childhood dreams. Since then, they had been inseparable. Jake was the kind of man who left sticky notes in her planner, cooked on Sundays, and made her laugh in the middle of deadlines. Emily slipped into her coat, grabbed her umbrella, and took the elevator down. In the reflection of the chrome walls, she admired her heels, her confidence, the life she had built. Rain began to fall, tapping gently on the pavement as she stepped outside. Everything shimmered: the lights, the people, the future. She didn't know that, in mere moments, everything would fall apart. Chapter 2. The Crash. The drive home took her through the glittering veins of the city. Music played low, Nina Simone's voice wrapped around her like a velvet ribbon. Her thoughts floated to Jake, his smile, his warmth, the way his eyes crinkled when he teased her. Then, headlights. A blinding flash. Screeching brakes. Her scream drowned in metal and impact. The world shattered. Cold. Sterile. Sharp beeps in the distance. Emily's eyes opened to a fluorescent ceiling. Her mouth was dry. Her neck couldn't turn. Panic surged. "Emily," a voice choked beside her. It was her mother. "Sweetheart, you're awake." She blinked slowly. Everything hurt. Her fingers tingled, her legs, she couldn't feel them. A doctor entered, clipboard in hand, concern in his eyes. "Miss Carter," he began gently, "you suffered a traumatic spinal injury. You're alive, which is a miracle. But the damage to your lower spine was extensive. I'm afraid you won't regain the ability to walk." Her mother sobbed, pressing her lips to Emily's hand. Emily said nothing. Just stared at the ceiling. The noise of the world vanished, leaving only an unbearable silence. Jake came once. He sat stiffly, holding peonies, her favorite. His eyes didn't meet hers. "This is so much," he said, voice unsure. "But I mean, you're strong, right? You'll figure this out." She reached for his hand. He pulled away gently. I need time to process." And he left. 1 week later, photos surfaced on his social media. Him, smiling on a yacht, arms around a carefree blonde. Caption: New beginnings. Emily turned off her phone. Chapter 3. Ashes. The hospital room blurred into weeks. Her body became a battleground of needles, braces, and silence. Her career faded as clients moved on. Her team sent flowers, but meetings happened without her. Home wasn't home anymore. She returned to an apartment that smelled of dust and leftover perfume. Her wardrobe, suits, heels, blouses, mocked her. She couldn't even reach the top shelf. She stopped opening emails. Avoided mirrors. Avoided herself. Until Liam came. He arrived with coffee and books, Jane Austen, Dostoevsky, Marvel Comics. He wore an old hoodie and that same camera slung across his chest. "Hey, Em," he said gently. "Still the coolest girl I know." She rolled her eyes, but a tiny spark flickered. Every day he returned. Reading to her. Talking nonsense. Telling stories from college. Brushing her hair. Letting her scream, cry, or stay silent. One night, she finally asked, "Why are you here, Liam?" He looked at her. No hesitation. "Because I love you. Always have." And her heart, buried beneath rubble, stirred. Chapter 4. Kindling. Emily wasn't ready to believe in anything yet, not in healing, not in hope, certainly not in love. But Liam didn't ask her to. He simply showed up. He brought her tea on cold mornings, sat beside her on sleepless nights. He never forced conversation but was always ready to listen. "Do you remember our graduation day?" he asked one rainy afternoon. She nodded faintly. "You wore that red dress," he said. "And I almost told you that I loved you. But I thought you deserved someone more brilliant." "You are brilliant," she whispered. He smiled, softly. "Not as brilliant as you." Bit by bit, she allowed herself to laugh. To cry. To feel again. He never asked for more. But in the silence, something warm began to grow. Something like belief. Chapter 5. Spark. Winter approached, and with it, long nights and colder mornings. Emily's physical therapy began in earnest. At first, every movement felt like war against pain, weakness, gravity, despair. But Liam was there, every step, every cry, every small breath that meant progress. The rehab center smelled like antiseptic and lavender. Posters of smiling patients lined the walls, as if recovery were something cheerful. Emily knew better. Recovery was messy, raw, exhausting. "Okay, Emily," her physical therapist said, kneeling beside her, "just try to lift your right leg. Just a twitch. That's all we need today. Emily clenched her jaw. Sweat rolled down her spine. Her muscles screamed. Nothing moved. I can't, she whispered. You can, Liam said gently, kneeling in front of her. You've come so far already. Remember when you thought you'd never sit upright again? She blinked. Her eyes shimmered. Her legs still felt foreign. But she nodded. That night, she didn't sleep. She stared at the ceiling for hours, reliving every failure, every tear. And in the morning, a spark. Her right leg trembled. Moved. She gasped. Called Liam with a voice half hope, half disbelief. He ran in barefoot, eyes wide. Did you feel that? She whispered. I saw it, he said, kneeling beside her, tears in his eyes. It moved, Em. It moved. And for the first time, she believed. Chapter 6. Fire. Progress came slow, but steady. Months passed. Emily worked harder than she ever had, harder than when she built her company, harder than when she learned to survive heartbreak. This was survival at its most primal. Every muscle burned. Every step was a victory. Each time she stood with the support of rails, she imagined herself standing on a stage again, tall, fearless, whole. Liam filmed it all, not to post online, but to show her on her worst days. Look, he'd say, pressing play on a blurry clip of her taking 3 shaky steps. That's you. That's your fire. They moved into a small house near the edge of the woods. It wasn't much, but it had sunlight, quiet, and space. She filled it with plants. He filled it with photographs. At night, they lay on the couch, her head on his chest, listening to the crackle of a fireplace. Sometimes they talked. Sometimes they didn't need to. One night, she whispered, I'm scared. Of what? That this might not last. That I'll lose this too. He cupped her face. Then I'll be here to lose it with you. And to fight for it again. She smiled, lips trembling. You really love me? He leaned in. I always have. Chapter 7. Roots. Emily began working again, slowly at first. She didn't return to PR. Instead, she launched a foundation to support women recovering from trauma. It grew faster than she expected. Soon, she was speaking at conferences, mentoring survivors, and appearing in articles, not for her image, but for her voice. And her voice mattered. At one panel, after a powerful talk, a young woman in a wheelchair approached her. I thought my life was over, the woman said. But then I read about you. And I thought, maybe it's not. Emily blinked back tears. She squeezed the woman's hand. It's not. It's just beginning. She found joy in small things, the garden Liam planted, the coffee they brewed each morning, the way her legs grew stronger, her steps more confident. She still used a cane, but now she walked with pride. They hosted friends, danced under string lights in the backyard, shared burnt pancakes on Sundays. One evening, as the sun dipped below the treetops, Liam knelt in the middle of their garden, dirt on his jeans, a velvet box in his hands. No speeches, he said. Just this, Will you let me spend the rest of my life proving I'll never leave? Tears streamed down her face. Yes. And the garden bloomed. Chapter 8. Home. Years passed. Their home grew louder, warmer, with the giggles of a daughter who had Liam's quiet smile, and a son with Emily's spark. Toys littered the hallway. Art projects covered the fridge. Every inch of the house held a story. Emily woke early, made lunches, packed bags, kissed foreheads. Her legs were strong beneath her now. Not perfect, but capable. She ran when her children called. She danced in the kitchen when Liam played their song. She stood tall. Every anniversary, they returned to the place she had first walked again, the rehab center rooftop. They held hands in silence. "We made it," she said each time. Liam would squeeze her fingers. "No," he always said. "You made it. I just never stopped watching." On their 15th anniversary, Emily stood in the garden, watching their children run, their laughter echoing in the golden light. She turned to Liam. "Still happy?" He wrapped an arm around her waist. "More than ever." Because once, she had fallen. Once, the world had left her broken. But love, true, quiet, patient love, had lifted her. Until death do them part.